What's up, dude?
Not sure even how to take that allegation,
All
to
right.
be completely honest.
The funny thing is, like, what the fuck, so
Hello, Sarah.
I was scrolling while like chatting with you, because it's like in order to talk to you, I have to be on Facebook. It's like, oh, Facebook Messenger. That's how we normally communicate. And
Yeah.
then as you're like, I'm listening to this audio thing, and then I'm just like also looking at my Facebook feed, and that's what it was. It was like this big picture of fucking Diddy, and it's from a reputable music site. I wanted to send you the screenshot, but it's literally a picture of him holding up a microphone, like, and then it says Diddy allegedly told a Making the Band contestant that he wanted to eat their flesh. And I'm just like, bro, like this is, I mean, really? Like, and then when you read the thing that I sent you, it's like you read the caption and it's like, yeah, when he got angry with one of the band members, Rivers alleged, he said, "You make me so mad, I want to eat your flesh." Dude.
They must have cut that part out of the making the band. And that part must have been cut out during the.
Yeah, no
Oh,
shit,
no, leave that in. Leave that in. That's good footage. No, we should probably cut that out. We don't.
but like I'm just trying to think, like once I read that out, like I was reading that after I typed it to you because I was like, I want him to understand that I'm not just being silly, like I'm not just making this up. This is a real thing. So I sent you that little thing because the image wasn't working. And
Right.
I was like, as I read it back, I was like, that dude, that sounds like a fucking, he sounds like a goddamn, like a vampire or like a villain, like a serious, like supernatural demonic entity. It's like, who says, even if you're joking around and like being angry, like you're in the heat of the moment, you're like, ah,
I just want
I just want to eat your flesh.
to. God, you make me so mad. I just don't even know. I'm gonna just want to eat it, all of it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what?
your flesh. I want to eat it. It's like, bro, who's even talking about flesh? Like, when's the last
There,
time you even used that word? It's a
there's an
crazy
old.
word.
There's an old interview, and I think it was of with Roseanne Barr, and it must have been like years after she was kind of shut out of Hollywood or
Oh,
whatever
she's
for
gone
like.
full like red pill. Yeah.
And there was an interview she had done. I don't know who it was. It was just like something I saw on TikTok, but it was like they were just showing an interview that she was doing, and she had stated that like how like there's like people drinking the blood of children and stuff,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like she's
yeah.
like this is like an actual thing, and they now I'm crazy.
But have you and I
I'm
never talked about this stuff? I
we
mean,
have I just
yeah, but I'm saying like this is like Roseanne Barr is just one of the more, like, if we talk about woke as the original terminology, Roseanne Barr is woke in the original sense of like aware of like how fucked up the power structures of the world actually are. That has nothing
yeah.
to do with like like the leftist woke whatever thing. Yeah, but it's also like this shit goes even so much deeper than fucking Roseanne Barr. Like
Oh yeah.
the people that we're talking about. But have we really gone into that? Because like I have a whole folder on my computer, like that I've been updating over the years. That is like,
Oh,
yeah, because I'm like, because I saw that like all of a sudden after, I mean, I think it was like it was actually before the pandemic, but
oh yeah, we've
all of a
talked
sudden
about it
all
a
the
little bit, but
conspiracies got taken off of YouTube. Like everything about everything was taken off of YouTube in terms of if it was a conspiracy. And all of a sudden, because like I had these videos that I used to like reference as like when I would try to show somebody something crazy, like we're drinking and I'm like, oh dude, check out this video. And all of a sudden I went in these like play later playlists that I made, and like more than half the videos were like deleted, 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 deleted. So it was like this big purge of conspiracy stuff on YouTube. So since then, and actually even before that, but I realized like anything that is like super complex, deep, like conspiracy stuff that is most likely, at least it, like some stuff isn't even a
poses
conspiracy.
some
Like,
plausibility.
yeah, but I'm saying like it's not even like we use the term conspiracy for this stuff, but it's like it's also documenting real crimes that just basically get glossed over. Like it's all the documentation is there, but it's like the media doesn't pick it up because major figures in the media are complicit in it. So it's like, oh, you have all the evidence. It's on fucking Wikipedia. You can find it. But it's like, it's considered fringe just because nobody in the like polite mainstream talks about it. So I have a whole folder of stuff where I'm like, I just have to assume at any given time that like the internet is going to get censored. Now we're in like a little bit of more of like a free for all again. But now like
Hmm.
they're maneuvering this to clamp down again. Like if you see in the UK, they're pushing this digital ID thing that they've been pushing apparently since Tony Blair's time, which means like George Bush time. I mean George
Right.
Bush the younger.
The mark of the
And
beast.
well, it's just like it's just another step into this sort of like once you get the digital ID, because it's like you sort of think to yourself, well, our IDs are kind of digital already. So what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like I can send you a digital like when my passport gets scanned, it's technically interfacing with a digital. I mean, in that sense, it is a digital ID already. But what
Hmm.
they're actually talking about is something that will essentially, like, once you sign on to this thing, it's, yeah, okay, yeah, Mark of the Beast is a pretty good analogy, but it's like, it's basically, somebody pointed this out, and of course, we know that this is always an impulse in humanity. But it's like, for instance, all of a sudden your purchases and everything that you do is it's basically the Chinese like social credit score thing. Europe is like so hungry and thirsty, not the regular people, but the sort of elite structure here is so hungry and thirsty for like a Chinese social credit model. Not necessarily in Sweden. Sweden was like a good outlier. They have a good value for like individual freedom here, even though they're very left. But they are also kind of pussies, so they will succumb to like when it was the Biden regime, they were in. And like I'm using Biden as just an example of like going along with this bullshit structure. Uh, Trump is a
Right.
challenge to that structure, but he's also part of it in some ways.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just saying that like the right now the UK is like dealing with this once again. Like they every few years they try to push it, and they always have a new excuse. So what's happened is like right now the UK is like super obsessed with they're pushing back on like the undocumented migration, like essentially the same type of thing that's been happening in America, but just that people are coming over on boats from like it's the same exact thing, but it's just here,
Hmm.
and the public is now like over it, so like they're doing the same thing that happened in America where they're like going kind of like make England great again, that type of deal. And now like the power structure is trying to use this as a way to go like, you know what, we hear you, yeah, undocumented labor, whatever. So here's the thing, in order to work in England, every single person will have to have a digital ID. You see what I'm saying? So it's like problem, reaction, solution. Like they create a problem and then they offer a solution that is something they've been wanting to do for a long time. So now we sort of understand why have they been allowing this unfettered migration to happen. At least in Europe, in the UK, which I consider like a little bit of like a, if you think about George Orwell in 1987 or whatever, 1984, it's UK is actually like the big granddaddy that's actually always a little bit further toward authoritarianism than we are. People don't see it that way because they're like, the UK is like a nice liberal country. But it's like when I went there in 2013, dude, there were cameras everywhere. I'm talking like I've never seen anything like that in an American city even since then. But like at that time, they already had CCTV cameras every fucking where. So if they had the right technology at that time, technically they knew where we were at any given time. And if they had tracking abilities, now that AI is becoming even more, ubiquitous and better and blah blah blah, like they already have an infrastructure that makes, I mean, it is 1984 in England. It was that way in 2013. I remember that. I remember saying to Espressa specifically, I was like, babe, there are fucking cameras. I mean, I'm talking every lamppost. There's CCTV cameras going. Brr, brr, brr. They're everywhere. I was like, I'm living in a fucking zoo. And then I realized something about the sort of like the elite mindset in the UK. Like they still are the center of the empire in a sense. Like they are ahead in terms of this, but they're also very subtle about it because the English people are also kind of like Americans in the sense that they have this sort of like when push comes to shove, they push back, but still it's been gradually creeping up, and they're ahead of us. Like they're always a little bit ahead of us in terms of this encroachment of a lack of like privacy and whatever. And now you can see that their freedom of speech is all but gone. I mean, but I'm seeing pushback as well. Police are coming to people's doors now because they signed this act where like literally police are coming and confiscating their phones in the UK because they made a post on Twitter/X or Facebook that they consider like, oh, that's inciting hatred or animosity or racism. It's inciting because you made an opinion about like the migrants that are coming in, and that actually incites hatred, whatever. They're literally right now confiscating people's phones, demanding and having a legal basis for asking for their PIN, to actually log in. And it's like, that's insane. Like, I have my whole life on my phone. Like, if I make some post on social media, okay, you already can see that it was me. Why do you need my phone? Like, why do you need to confiscate my phone and have access to every other text message and everything I've ever said? It's like they're in a very authoritarian situation right now.
Oh,
And everybody talks
yeah,
about the US. It's like, oh, Trump is a dictator. Bro, the UK right now is fucked. I mean, I'm talking like just do a cursory Google glance and you'll get caught up on the whole thing. This is not a fringe
that's
topic.
wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And are people like having issues with that?
Well, yeah, there was like one of the biggest marches and protests ever in England. And it's funny you haven't heard about it, but it's like
I think
basically,
I
yeah,
swear
you've
I
probably
want to
seen it.
say I've seen like a random video. I never that I didn't watch, but it was just like something that I was scrolling and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
because I
no,
think my mom probably, I think it was my
oh yeah,
mom
she
probably
seems
had
to keep
watched
up with
something
it.
like that. She's always watching all
She
that
gave us that
political stuff or
Portland, was it Portland update that she gave us?
that. Yeah, yeah.
I ended up looking into that, and it was actually pretty interesting. Yeah, but yeah, dude, it's like we got. I don't know why I
So
brought this up in the first place, but yeah, it's
oh,
interesting.
they're just it's like one of those things where you said that every few years they keep trying to reintroduce it because for whatever reason, obviously they want that digital ID thing to happen for
Yeah,
probably more, malicious reasons, to be honest, than anything else. Because why push for something that you don't necessarily need to have?
but do you remember what
Because
I think it was you that I said this to, but and I want to get your thoughts on this, but like, wasn't it like so? One thing that I thought of is like these people, a lot of them grow up in environments where they actually have been made comfortable and domesticated with surveillance. So like, like because we had an upbringing like most people that came from an earlier time up until kind of recently where there's a lot more remote work or whatever, you were sort of
yeah,
left on your own, and like you weren't monitored because who's gonna like we don't have the resources to have like a nanny or a butler or somebody who's like gonna keep an eye on you. So it's like when you're out on your own, you're out on your own. But if you come from
hmm
like a rich and well connected and wealthy family, it's most likely that your things are going to be a lot more structured. You're going to have a lot more surveillance. And
yeah,
a thought and sort of a revelation that I had a few years ago was like a lot of these people are just living out this like they don't think it's wrong because it's like they grew up in an environment that was like super structured and super like there's always somebody kind of watching you and policing your behavior. So to them, it's not even like an evil thing. They're just like, I'm cool with the lack of privacy. I'm cool with because they have to think that otherwise why would they do it? Because it's like they're still humans. They're going to go like, well, my child has to grow up in the world I'm trying to create. So you have to think that in their minds they think that is a good world. And then you have to think that that means that they think the way they were raised and grew up makes sense, which is, yeah, there was somebody watching over me. There was somebody that corrected my behavior. There was somebody, that like made a schedule and whatever. So this is something that I think
yeah,
we have to come to terms with if we're going to have compassion and like actually understand how to fucking bridge the gap, because otherwise each side just thinks the other side is evil. And it's like you can be retarded, but that doesn't mean you're evil. And I would say their position is dumb because there's a lot of historical arguments against this, but you can just think like from a Freudian or whatever perspective, like they have this sort of complex of like I want to be watched, I want to be surveilled, I want somebody else to take care of me. That is what is normal to me. And sometimes we associate that with like welfare recipients, but it's actually the ultra rich who grow up in a situation where they don't have to work, and like somebody is kind of like monitoring and somebody's keeping tabs, and like think about report cards, and your father every now and again going like, Nanny Susan, I mean, and I'm exaggerating here, but like, Nanny Susan tells me that you haven't been into your studies lately or whatever. It's like, bro, most people don't have that. So we come from a sort of Wild West and freedom mentality, which actually makes sense if you want to avoid tyranny.
You just hear the guns blazing and the horses galloping.
I love that you switch from trotting to galloping like mid trot galloping. Yeah. You
I
know,
felt like
I like
felt
the
like
editorial discretion there. You're like, oh, this is important. I need to be
I
careful. Is
really
it
need to
trotting or
get it.
galloping? Exactly. Like, is it trotting or galloping? He'll know. Fuck. I don't want to hear about this trotting or galloping. No, but you see what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I don't know, dude. Did you ever watch the film from the 90s, like a Goofy movie? It was so significant to me. But it was like Goofy and his son and
Max.
yeah.
Oh, hey, ya, Maxie.
That's a good one. That's good actually. But the thing is that apparently the guy, you have to watch this thing where it was like they did I don't know if it's 20-year anniversary or 30-year anniversary. I can't remember what it was, but it was like Goofy movie, and then like the original, so the Goofy voice actor with the guy that did Max, and then they do this like snippet where they're basically in like the car. It looks like the car. And they're having a whole conversation about like working on the movie and whatever, and they go through the voice, and actually the Goofy guy lays out the voice, and it is like it's something where you have to like take a breath at the end. So you're like, it's like, he does this like weird thing at the end.
Oh,
Like a,
he does. I can't remember. I haven't seen it. I just remember like the fucking.
yeah,
That's
but it's a
about it.
it's a breath in. So that the at the end is more of like a yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even.
yeah, something like that. And then if you listen to it, you'll know. Uh, yeah, super interesting. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because it's late, and I can't go a late one. It's a Thursday. Doesn't make any sense. But I just wanted to touch base with you about this big epic thing that's probably not gonna happen on Monday. But if it does, like we do it.
No, I could totally see it happening because Alex, he's a pretty good dude. I think when it comes to that, I think he'll make a conscious effort. So he's like, oh
I
yeah,
think
and he
so
knows you've been trying to get him to do it. So it might actually happen. But I could also see him like being like actually honest and be like, bro, I can't, and it would be
Yeah,
like probably
yeah,
legitimate reasons,
yeah. Agreed, agreed.
or it wouldn't be, and he's just being like weird.
No,
Like I could also see him being weird about it.
I mean, he could have been the thing he could have done is to just basically like not respond in a timely fashion. Like he's kept the sort of like flame going by actually being proactive about it and being like, "Oh, well, Mondays and
Yeah,
Wednesdays
he
work."
probably wants to be honest. So.
He probably does.
I feel like it's weird though. Before we go here, it's not going to
Yeah.
be
No,
long
no,
or anything.
please,
I
please,
was going to
please.
say I think it's weird though that like a lot of our generation, like we grew up with like the social media, when it was
Yeah.
introduced and all this, and like all the voice chat or the video chatting and all that, and like it seems like the people I know don't really use it very much besides like you and I. Granted, I don't connect with a lot of other people, but like Alex, for instance, and Michael, it's like they
Yeah.
don't like make efforts to like hey catch up with somebody or see what's going on and
Well, I think it's because you're
eh,
dealing with like it's also like the small town mindset. Like obviously, if I lived closer to you, we probably wouldn't keep up on Zoom. And then, but obviously these people don't.
this is
But
true.
but I'm
I
just
don't know,
saying,
it
like
just
for me, it's like a part of my life because that's the only way I keep in touch with anybody. So I probably wouldn't be doing this. Like if I lived
Yeah.
even in the same state, it would just be like, oh, we don't see each other for weeks or months, and then phone call, meet up, because you just don't have the same mindset, you know? So I think
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
and then if you don't have that mindset, you never have that thing of like, oh, actually, it would be cool to actually document that. You know, it's just to get people to even do it is one thing, and then to actually get them
Yeah.
on board with the idea of like
Did,
documenting it is like a
did you
big.
did you tell him that it was gonna be all three of us?
Yeah, I did, of course.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
Okay.
said I've said that the whole time. Like
Oh,
every
okay.
time I've reached out to him, I'm like, "Oh, I'm on with Clinton," because normally it's been spontaneous.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, because I'm curious. Like I want him to go into it knowing that that's the dynamic, and
Right.
and so yeah, that's been the whole thing. So he knows that. I didn't even suggest doing it just he and I. Um,
Right.
so what did I say the last time? Oh yeah, I said that's smart, but it's just tricky to coordinate through different time zones. So I'm always hoping something spontaneous will come together. Usually, when I chat with Clinton, it winds up
Oh,
being
yeah.
late here, say 10 or 11 Swedish time, which is 4 p.m. Minnesota time, 2 p.m. your time, I believe. So it's tricky to get that working. But yeah, like so that's been the whole thing. I've said that from the beginning. So
You
he's going
can't
to be
tell me that
coming
kid
into
does
it.
not. You can't tell me that kid does not have a day off. But then again, the way you make it sound, maybe he
Yeah, that's
is
what I'm saying.
always constantly busy.
Maybe he just is. I think that's where he derives his like comfort and relaxation is from the busyness almost. I remember even his mom being like I just have this vibe that even she was like kind of surprised by his sort of weird industriousness. You know,
Yeah.
he has this like he does have this kind of entrepreneurial vibe
Vibe.
about him, but
Yeah.
it's just like he's more like one of those like investors that's just like they're just putting all their money spread across a bunch of like penny stocks that you're kind of
Right.
hoping will go up, but you're not really like going, I'm gonna commit to this thing and or you know, or choose a
Those
few.
are
Yeah, it's weird.
so many of those are scams, pump and
Oh,
dump schemes.
oh yeah,
But
for sure. Even at a high level, they can become scams. You know, which we found out
yeah.
with like, remember the Nikola thing? Did you ever look into that?
Uh-uh.
Like the
The what?
Nikola Motors, like some guy, like some Trevor dude in like early pandemic days had this so-called electric vehicle startup thing where he got a bunch of venture capital to fund it, and he's basically, you know, he was trying to be a competitor to Tesla, and he was showing like that he was going a route supposedly of like hydrogen fuel cell based or whatever, and and then in like they did this big promo thing. They you know they went public like during the pandemic when everybody started getting into investing and blah 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 blah. They did this big like video showing their semi that was hydrogen powered. Well, it turned out the video was fake. That it was literally like they pushed the thing down a hill, and like it turned out that because they've been like they had investments from even like Rivian and stuff like that, like other companies like Ford or whatever, and they basically they did not have a product ready to go, and it had been years, and then they did this like IPO launch thing on just hype, and it turned out like they had nothing ready to go, they were faking stuff. And eventually this guy like this was like big thing, like people were investing. I remember this like in the early 2020 time, people were literally investing, and I put a little money into Nikola because I was like, okay, it sounds interesting, whatever, but I didn't put much, probably a couple $100. And then it just turned out the whole fucking thing was like a big pump and dump scam, but at like a big fucking level where it was a big media involvement. It wasn't some like little stock you never hear about. It was like a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
It's like even at that level, like you just got to think about that stuff. Like, and you can make a bad investment. Like you could say, like you could say that Tesla fluctuates in terms of like what you think it actually can accomplish, and like whether the
Yeah.
pushback is with a guy that's that unhinged. I mean, he's very unhinged, especially lately. Like even though he's kind
Yeah.
of the reason that it's successful, he's also kind of the liability at the same time. So you can make an
Yeah.
argument there, but at least you got a story to go on. Watch out for the
Yeah.
shit where you're like somebody's marketing and hyping a story to you. That seems to be like the biggest red flag is like something comes out of nowhere. Like at least Tesla's
Right.
like, oh, they went almost bankrupt like 3 times. They've been a thing since like 2008, and this guy also like co-founded the original idea that became PayPal, and he's got SpaceX, and you can come up with a lot of reasons to justify that, but just some random guy coming out of the woodwork being like, I got a lot of venture
Right.
capital and then they do these IPO launches and then they cash in. So the guy got like billions from that, or at least I don't know, hundreds of millions. I don't know what it was. Then all of a sudden they get exposed, and then he's like, I mean, he's doing a little bit of time in jail, not that much. I think he might
Yeah.
even be out now on like parole. So it's like he probably did a few years in jail, made a bunch of money. Just a big fucking scam on a big fucking level where you're under, and it was like, still doable. So also still possible to get yourself fucked in something that's not even an obvious penny stock, I guess is what my point is.
Yeah.
Some things, they just you just gotta it takes a little bit of extra discernment with these types of deals. Because that hype train gets going, like your aunt and your uncle suddenly are like when your aunt and your uncle are like, Nicola? Have you heard of Nicola? And you're like, I gotta be careful now. This is this is like
Oh
because
shit.
why are they who are just they don't know anything about anything? Why are they talking about it?
Oh shit. Wait, why
Yeah,
are they on this Nicola kick now? What is going on
that's
here?
actually a good like little rule of thumb, like with the older generation sometimes, which will include us and does include us. Is like if you look at like initial reactions, it can give you a sense of like if people are starting to get hyped about something like this, we should know that it's
Right?
probably
Like,
retarded. It's
yeah, it's
probably like
probably
some multi-level marketing level type. It's like,
huge.
Jan made 100,000 on, Nokia 3 weeks ago. And so she's been telling me that I should actually, that I should buy some Nokia. And it's like, I'm making this up, but it's just like, bro, um, no, that's probably not a
Right?
good idea.
I don't
Jan
know,
doesn't know
man.
what
I
the
don't know.
fuck she's doing, and maybe Jan got lucky, or maybe Jan suddenly bought a little Nokia and she wants the price to go up. So she's trying to tell everybody in her, like,
Like, guys, I'm hurting right now. I need some. You guys need to.
can
Like,
we
what do
get
you
a
mean
little,
hurting?
can we get a little demand for Nokia stock? Can you
Yeah, we
guys
need
just
some
look into
Nokia.
it? Just look into it, like, bro. Just look into Nokia. Just, like just look at their like 5-year plan. I really need this. I really need you to invest in Nokia.
I need to invest in some Nokia. I think it's a good. I think it's a great investment for you. I promise. They're really going up right now. They've got
But you
big,
really
huge
got to do
plans.
it. You got to do it like now, though. Like because if you don't do it now, somebody else will, and that's the thing. Like, just think about it. If you don't, somebody else will, and then they're gonna get rich. They're gonna be living in that penthouse in Manhattan, and where are you gonna
And
be?
then you're gonna, and then you didn't do it. And
You
I'm in
didn't
that
do it.
penthouse, so you
Yeah,
think about it.
and you're gonna be thinking to yourself, "Wow." You're gonna be looking at pictures. One day you're gonna open up Realtor.com, and you're gonna be you're gonna be looking at apartments. And Realtor didn't know you were looking just at Minnesota, and it accidentally included New York, and it's got an ad, and it turns out that ad is the penthouse you would have had. And you look at that penthouse and you think, "Wow, that looks nice," and you click on it, and then you think to yourself, "Ah, I could never get that," but that was the thing you would have gotten. Just think about,
Bro
just
is working.
just
I'd
think.
be like, why are you trying to sell me on this so hard, bro? Are you
I'm
trying to
not. I'm
sell
trying
me
to
on this?
sell you on life. I'm saying you only live once, and that was.
This is your chance right now to live that one time
Yeah, bro. You gotta.
and
Here's the
have no
thing.
regrets.
Yeah, you gotta have no regrets. I've never heard. I like that one. No regrets. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No regrets, man.
No you ever been to? You've never been to New York, right? I think it. I
No,
think. I think you need to.
I haven't been to New York.
I think you really need to, dude. You have
I'll
to
get
have that experience. I think it's. We should do it at the same time. The next, if we are ever scheduled to go to New York for any reason, I'm gonna work with you to get you to New York. because like I'm serious, like comedy clubs, the whole metropolis, the whole weird, like it's one thing to like you know you kind of grow up knowing about this stuff, but there is
Yeah.
nothing like it in the world. There's just nothing like it. Like try to find a place that you can think like, I mean, yeah, you could go like Dubai or Tokyo or something like that, but it's like, do you really? I mean, that's not America, and it's also just not New York. It's not the same thing. Imagine you're going there, you're actually seeing these things, and and there's this like crazy weird. It's like a petri dish of insanity, dreams, broken dreams, business, finance, like
Homeless people.
struggle, yeah. And then it's like you go to these places where it's like, oh shit, let's look on the map. Oh, there's gonna be. Oh, you want to go to a comedy? It's Tuesday night. What is it right now? It's Thursday. Okay. If we were in New York City right now, we could go. Hey man, you want to go see a comedy show? And you'd be like, I mean, I guess. And then I'd be like, okay, which one? Which one? Like, do you want to go see this guy in that fucking basement over there? Do you want to go to that part of town? Do you want to go there? Do you want to go? And we could walk 10 or 15 minutes and go there. Or if you wanted to see like, oh, I'm interested in some jazz tonight, or I want to hear a singer songwriter, you can go any fucking night of the week. That imagine that. That's crazy, dude. That's like the petri dish of like it's the cult. It's the central hub of human civilization in some sense, or at least Western human civilization. It's insane. I think you would love it. And then you can also go like, oh, do you want to just wander in here and grab a beer? Yeah. Do you want to go over there and take a shot? Yes. Do you want to go talk to that homeless guy? Maybe. You know? You know what I mean? You evaluate as you go. He may stab you in the neck. He might not. And that's the sort of like, the subway is like straight out of a movie. It's like, oh my God, it doesn't look like a subway anywhere else that I've ever been. It literally looks like you're in a fucking movie. It's like, it's the subway in New York. It's crazy. So yeah, I think we should go to New York, dude.
All right.
You got to get to New
New York
York.
it is.
I'll meet you there. Yeah, it's got to happen.
Nice.
It's got to happen. Far more interesting than anywhere else, actually. Like if you think about like if you're gonna pick one place, you say L.A. If you don't have a rental car, you're fucked. And if you do have a rental car, you're also fucked.
You're fucked.
You know what I'm saying? Anywhere else, Chicago, it's cold, really, really cold sometimes. It's basically Minnesota weather.
Yeah.
Chicago's cool. You can go to Miami, way too hot, and also overrun by just, depending on where you go, it can be crazy. It can be either alligators or people on spring break or the elderly. That's it. But then it's like New York it's a mess. It's crazy. You might not agree with the way that people vote there, you probably wouldn't agree with. But the actual thing is like something, it's like if you could go to Rome at its peak. I think you have to
Right.
think about it like that. It's like it's not normal. This is a
Hmm.
weird situation. It's like everywhere I go, I wind up in a new neighborhood and there's things happening everywhere. And then I look up and it's like something that just doesn't make any sense, like the scale of buildings. You're just like, oh, I'm walking along the sidewalk and I look straight up, and all I see right here in certain areas is just buildings that obscure the entire, like, it looks like I'm on fucking Coruscant. That's the thing. Like, it looks like you're on fucking Coruscant in some sense. Seriously, and
That's
you're like,
wild.
this is what it would be if I was like on the street level of, well, of course, then you wouldn't see any sky at all. It would be like the upper level of Coruscant, I guess.
Right.
Like there's still a sky, but there's like 15 levels below you, but you're still surrounded by shit. It's crazy.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. How does that sound to you? Because some people would say, "Oh no, man, I like simple things. I don't really want to blah blah blah. I would never whatever."
No, I mean, I, I've got a I might have like a Korean meeting or something, but um, you know, yeah, we can plan for it.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
for sure. I mean, if you obviously, um, no, but what do you think about that as like a concept? Like, does it trigger you? Because some people are like, oh, I don't like to travel, or I don't like to whatever, or this or whatever. What is your thing that is like a restriction on doing something like that?
I don't really have any restrictions on doing anything.
All right.
I've always, I've always thought, I've always wanted to go to fucking Egypt and fucking go to the pyramids and shit and visit all that shit. I think that would be like remarkable to go to and like actually see in person,
Yep,
stuff like that.
I agree.
But yeah, so like seeing things like that are, yeah, I don't really have any restrictions. To be honest, I'd probably go anywhere as long as it's not like somewhere where I'm going to get some weird disease just by walking around and breathing in its air,
Yeah,
which
well, that would.
probably could be New York, but
Well,
um,
technically, there is always
probably
that like that.
less
That is the
likely.
thing. If you're visiting the capital of Rome, there is part of you that's taking a little bit of just an existential risk in the first place. Like it's not, there's times when you look at like climate change maps, which I'm not saying I'm not taking an opinion here or whatever, but I'm just saying like what people project about certain things or what would you call it? Like if there was like let's say that Yosemite, is it Yosemite? Let's say that
If somebody
Yosemite erupted,
park,
right?
are you thinking of Yellowstone?
I'm thinking of Yellowstone. Let's imagine that the Yellowstone Basin finally erupts, this big super volcano, right? You look at like I tend to look at maps where it's like sometimes I'll be like, okay, where would be the safest place if that happened? Where would be the safest place in the event of like a nuclear exchange? Where would be the blah blah blah? All I can say is New York is, at least as far as geopolitics, like it's a target. So there is a weird sense like when you're there, you're like, oh fuck, I am in a place that is like actually on the map. Because we come from a
Right,
place that's kind of not on the map, so you're not really used to thinking in terms of being on the map. But it's like when you're in New York, you're like, damn, this is where shit happens. Like, and it can also happen in a bad way. You know because it is like the sauce is a lot more complex and the like human interactions, even everything is totally different. It's like the density and like what can happen is obviously technically multiplied. So then you sort of have to like that's the first. I mean, that's a place where you really encounter that mind fuck of like I thought that I felt a certain way about this, but actually when I'm in it, I'm getting a lot of different perceptions. Like, wow, never thought about like people being squeezed into this kind of an environment, actually promoting like weird sorts of mental illness and stuff. That kind of thing. Where you're like, I can see it. There's patterns where it's like, ah, yeah, I don't know. This kind of environment also encourages mental illness. Really weird, but yeah, shutting up.
what is your what happens when I scan your shirt, bro?
I don't know.
What QR code is that for?
I
Does it
have
bring me
no.
to Florida Cash?
I actually don't know. This is just a random shirt.
Brings me to Illuminati.
Have you scanned it?
No, I can't scan
Oh
it.
no, no, you can screenshot and then you can scan it in your
Oh,
photos.
that's right. All right. I know you know. There's no
I
way
don't
you
know.
haven't scanned it yourself. You
I
just
don't.
want me to see what it is.
No, I don't.
All right.
Couldn't care less. Couldn't
Let
care
me see
less.
what. Wait, how do I fucking. Wait, how do I. Oh, well, I need another phone to. Damn it.
Are you sure?
I don't think I can. Let me see. I don't think I have an option to like. Because I have to use like my QR code scanner on my phone, and in order to do that, I'd have to like point at it with my phone.
No, no, no. But you can just select the photo. Like when you go into the photos, you just hold on the QR code and it will give you a link.
Does it?
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
see. Well, it didn't do that, but I it told you It used AI and just pulled you out of the photo. I can say,
I've seen
dude,
that.
check this. Bro, I can save you as a sticker.
That's crazy. Maybe you should screenshot the QR code one more time. I'm gonna make it more like, look at that. That's like a real legit. Try that. Tell me
Hold on.
that.
All right, all right. All right, hold on here. Okay, that'll. All right,
I
get
can
up
even
right
zoom
there.
in.
Okay. Okay, let's try this now. All right. That's a good one. I'll just hold. No, it just wants me to save you as a sticker.
Fuck. Okay, I actually almost have to try it myself. Like in,
Maybe Apple has that, or maybe there's another way I
or are
do
you are
it.
you
I
are
just
you are you not on an iPhone?
no, I'm on Android.
Oh, okay, now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. So I'm holding up my, I'm holding up. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm holding up
Hold on,
my
hold on.
iPhone just in the screen, and then I want to
Oh,
show
I
you.
can do it. Wait. Okay.
Yeah, can you do it live? You should be able to do it live.
No, I can't, because I'm on my phone, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, I would.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jesus, mentally disabled right now. Well, in any case, wait, dude, we have a fucking. What the fuck, dude? We have a shared group chat with Matt, Clint, and Alex.
I think we did that a while ago, didn't we?
Yeah, but what happened?
We remember we were talking and we were trying to get them both in there at the same time, I think.
Yeah, we never did though, right?
No.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Son of a bitch. Doesn't really make sense because they both responded. Uh,
But they were probably like busy and didn't want to do the video thing because of being weirdos.
mysterious. Yeah, but this is what I get, just so you know, just for future reference. That's a screenshot. So then a link pops up just when I shine my cat. Like if I just open up, like I'm gonna take a photo, and then I
Well,
just see.
yeah, I can't do that because you're on your computer.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, you can.
I keep forgetting that for some reason. That's retarded. That is so retarded. Um. All right, dude. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Take care of
All right.
yourself,
Oh,
buddy.
my video's gone. All right. Love you, brother. See ya.
Assuming nothing else changes, I see you Monday.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye, man.